Hello, everyone, and welcome to another new episode of the Nothing to See Here podcast. Hi, it's Frankie.
Yeah, it's Hannah.
Frankie.
See, you can't just start with my name because now people think there's two Frankies, and that's definitely not true.
There's not two Frankies.
All right. What's up?
So we finished Harangue
We
last
did
time.
finish Harangue.
What were some of your thoughts? As you can see, I made my name bring back Hansung.
I don't know who that is.
It's V's character.
Okay, yeah. See, I didn't know his name ever. The entirety of the show. I knew him by the name of his actor. Uh, Look, final thoughts on Harangue, real quick, because we got a movie to review tonight. I think that killing V's character, spoiler alert for a show that came out in 2017, killing V's character, shitty thing to do, would have made more sense to kill his brother. I don't know how they would have got there, but I think it would have been better for character work. I understand why they had to kill V's character. It wasn't that they wanted to, it was that because V has other stuff to do and he couldn't be on the show as long as they needed him to be to finish it.
I don't know. That's pretty
It was pretty.
heartbreaking stuff.
It is heartbreaking and emotionally moving, but I think in terms of character development, V would have become a better. Hansung would have become a better character if his brother had died, versus the other way around.
Yeah, but I think his brother also became a better character at
But
the
he
end.
didn't really do anything at the afterward. Like he just like ended up as an official harangue instead of a non-duke. And okay, but he didn't like not. You just saw him in the uniform. He didn't really do anything after that.
That's fair. That's very fair.
I think that a lot of it at the end was kind of like predictable, but not in a bad way. Predictable in a way of like they've built this story and they're not just gonna like put in a twist or a swerve for no reason. So that was good. I did predict the ending.
You did.
I wrote it out before it happened, handed my phone to Amanda, and then once it happened, I read the prediction out. I was right.
He was right.
So that
He
was good.
was not expecting V's death though.
I was not expecting V's death, but that happened before the ending. That happened in episode 18.
Yeah, I was surprised you didn't cry. I wept, and I've seen it before.
I was too angry. I do think my big problem with the last episodes that we watched, because we watched the last 5 episodes or so.
Last four.
My problem with the ending is it is very rushed. They kind of just because he doesn't the faceless king doesn't reveal himself until episode 19, end of episode 18. But like they don't really do anything with it because it's the very last moment.
Right.
So he doesn't reveal himself really until episode 19, and then they like build a mini conflict between him and Dogbird, which isn't a real conflict because they've secretly created a plan with each other. But I think if they had like more time to stretch that out, maybe just like one or two more episodes to kind of stretch things out with like the actual impact of him revealing himself as king, that would have been a little better. But it ended. It was a good show. I'd give it as a series entirely a 7.5 out of 10.
Wow. I'm actually impressed it got that high.
You know what? The weakness of like some of the technical aspects doesn't take away from the fact that they told a good story and the acting was very good too. I think the worst acting was serviceable. There wasn't really any bad acting.
No, and you
So
have your favorite characters. Your favorite character shit himself at one point.
one of my favorite characters he shit himself a lot in this show. He shit himself too much, I think.
We're not old, so we don't know.
It wasn't that. I think it was from a writing standpoint. I know why they did it in that episode because they use it later on as a device to get them into a place. But he could have just pretended to shit himself when they needed him to. I don't think they needed to establish this guy has a history of shitting himself that the people he was pretending to shit himself in front of wouldn't have known about.
Ah.
Anyway, yeah, that's my review of Harangue. 7.5 out of 10. We'll see how it stands up against the other K dramas I will be forced to watch inevitably.
Yeah, he says force like that it's a bad type of thing. He thoroughly enjoyed this.
I have to say force because I don't know. You started me off strong. I don't know if anything else is going to be better or not.
Mom is starting you off with the glory, and it's not bad. I haven't watched it fully. It's a revenge K drama, so you're gonna like that. And I think you're gonna like mine, which is the K2, which is action packed. It's kind of dope.
Well, I'll look forward to it.
So look forward to that, dear listeners. Anyway, speaking of horrible acting. Um, let's talk about this movie.
Yeah, we're back with Scooby-Doo. It's our Scooby-Doo, our monthly Scooby-Doo episode. And we're talking about Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf from November 13th, 1988.
How
The
did
la-
how did, how did you guys watch this? Because I had to buy this fucker.
I watched it on the Internet Archive.
Oh,
I also watched it on Internet Archive.
I paid $11 for this fucker, and now I own it.
Where did you watch this?
YouTube.
Didn't you do Reluctant Werewolf online free into Google?
No, because Boomerang was supposed to be like taken in by Max, and
And
it
it
was,
was partly.
but not all of it.
Of course, not
Yeah.
all of it.
Yeah, and I'm pissed about it. Either take the whole catalog or leave Boomerang alone.
So this is the last Scooby-Doo movie of the Hanna-Barbera Superstars 10, and the last Scooby-Doo movie of the Hanna-Barbera Superstars 10, and the second to last of that entire series of film. And it is the first of that series of film to use digital ink and paint. All the others use traditional cell animation. This would be the last appearance of Scrappy-Doo until 2002 with the live-action Scooby-Doo movie, and the last appearance of Shaggy's red shirt until Cyber Chase. He'll be back in green for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, good. I mean,
This
not
is
that I don't mind Red Shirt Shaggy, but I mind him a little bit.
he's a green
Explain.
kind of guy.
Yeah, he's very, very green.
He just gives green vibes, Hannah.
Okay.
This is the first Scooby-Doo property where Shaggy has a girlfriend, who we can talk about later. How we all feel about Googie.
I like Googie.
And
I think they should bring her back for a film.
well, they have ample opportunity. This movie is only brought up one more time, despite having kind of like a cliffhanger ending where they like leave room open for a sequel.
Mm-hmm.
In the 2009 movie Scooby-Doo Return to Zombie Island, Velma has a blog about the events of this movie being an unsolved case.
And Shaggy doesn't like.
I don't know. That's all I read about. But they also don't mention how she got the photos. Like, she has photos of Shaggy being a werewolf. They don't mention how she got them. They never mention, like, where Velma, Fred, and Daphne are during this little, I guess, different career path for Shaggy of being a race car driver.
They just assume that was his furry phase.
Yeah. So the cast for this movie, Don Messick is Scooby and Scrappy-Doo. Casey Kasem is Shaggy. BJ Ward is Googie and Repulsa. Hamilton Camp is Count Dracula. Jim Cummings, known for a shit ton of roles.
Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh is probably the biggest one, is Frankenstein and the Dragonfly and Wolfgang. Joan Gerber is the short witch sister. Ed Gilbert is Dr. Jackal and Mr. Snide. He also voiced Baloo in Tailspin and discovered a new species of beetle.
Just casually.
Yeah, just as you do. Ed Gilbert, before he became a voice actor, was a researcher in entomology. Actually, I don't know if it was before or after. I just know he was a researcher and discovered a new species of beetle under his given name, Edmund Geisbert. So there's a fun fact. Brian Mitchell played Bone Jangles, who is known as also a Broadway actor, won the Tony Award for Best Actor in a Musical for his performance as Fred Graham / Petruchio in the Broadway revival of Kiss Me Kate in 2000. Pat Music is Vanapira. Alan Oppenheimer is the Mummy and Swamp Thing.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Go back to Pat Music.
Pat Music, yeah.
She has a daughter named Mae Whitman, and we all know Mae as the voice of Katara from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Where was I? Alan Oppenheimer as the Mummy. Rob Paulson as Brunch.
Hey, Wacko.
Yeah, he's back.
No, that's
He's
Yakko.
done quite a few of these.
He's Yakko, not Wacko.
Mimi Seaton as the tall witch sister, and Frank Welker, who is usually Fred, as Crunch. So this movie has a 6.7 out of 10 on IMDb. which I gotta try and find where that puts it. I didn't have my list up. There we go. Wait, no, that's not the list. Where is this list? Did I lose the rankings? Oh no, never mind.
I'm
This
gonna kill
this
you.
this puts it below Scooby-Doo meets the Boo Brothers in terms of how people feel about it on IMDb.
I don't know if I agree with that one.
We have 2 reviews. Do we want positive or negative first?
Let's start with the negative.
Yeah, let's just get it out of the way.
All right, the negative is from Willingworths on July 20th, 2020. So this guy or this person was watching it during the pandemic.
Honestly, a good thing to do during the pandemic. Just watch all of Scooby-Doo.
It did not bring them joy. They gave it a 1 out of 10. If you like car chases that last for what feels like a decade, this is the perfect film for you. That's their entire review.
I mean, I don't think they're wrong.
They're not wrong. We'll get into it when we review when Hannah when you guide us through it. But damn, that car scene, that race scene, Jesus, are
There's-
good.
It's a long scene.
It's the longest scene. I felt like I felt like I had fallen into a time loop. I was like, surely it's done now. The 10 out of 10 review, Jason 06-1 left this on April 10th, 2007. The good news, the film may have an effect of nausea on you. I don't know if that's good news.
That's good news?
It's from 1988 and everything reeks 1988. From Scrappy-Doo to Shaggy's old red shirt and the cartoon animation reminds you what has happened over the years to the recent What's New Scooby-Doo. The story is fresh and hasn't been done before. The ways to turn Shaggy into a werewolf are pretty original. My favorite one has to be at the supermarket. The drive-in movie scene was also a long, fun sequence, and the idea that Hiccups cures a werewolf and turns the victim from a werewolf to a person and so on was pretty neat. Shaggy's girlfriend was a good character, and the movie surprisingly didn't need the rest of the gang. The monsters at the castle, while nothing new, was nice to see them all together. Casey Kasem voices Shaggy, and you can't find a lot of fault in his performance, and Scrappy-Doo is actually likable here. The way the whole castle is rigged and every escape and hope turns out to be a trap is pretty smart. If all else reason to see this fails, then the practice round and the actual race are stand-out sequences which are action-packed and fully entertaining from beginning to end, and a great way to end a film. That is the major highlight, and it is worth to see it as a standalone scene. The failed plans by Dracula to stop Shaggy from winning the race provide much of the action, and the long running time helps this out because it seems more natural than it would if it was over in 5 minutes. The bad news. I don't see how anybody can dislike this. It's fast, entertaining, action-packed, and has a slam-bang ending. There we go. This movie has a slam-bang ending, apparently. That's all I have for the history of the movie and the reviews. There's not a lot on these Superstar Series 10 movies.
I
Hopefully,
really hope Hannah's notes is not like a 10-page note.
No, I will agree with our 10 out of 10 review. This film does move fast, save for the car race.
that fucking race.
I do not agree with what that reviewer said regarding the ending and car chase of this film.
Are you not a fan of the 90-minute car race?
The 40-minute car race? No.
The
Not
movie
really.
the movie is only an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 40 minutes of it is the fucking car race.
And you feel every single minute of those 40 minutes.
I stopped watching at one point and like read something on my phone and looked back and the car race was still happening. I don't know how it happened. But Hannah, take us through Scooby-Doo and the Reluctant Werewolf.
All right. We begin at a racetrack. It's a funny car race, and Shaggy is racing. Again, we have a nice little reminder of some long forgotten lore that Shaggy is an athlete. Really?
I'm sorry. What do you want from me?
Do better.
No. I mean, I would. You know what? Next time I'll save up for a really big burp.
Don't do that.
I will. Hannah said do better.
She didn't mean do a better burp.
That's what she meant. I know it in my heart of hearts.
I'm gonna come and punch you.
You can try.
The peanut gallery will let me in.
You know, the gallery will not let you punch her daughter.
No, I think she would.
I don't know about that one.
It depends on what you did to earn the punch.
I think she'll agree that you burping on air deserves a punch.
I don't know. She's been pretty farty lately, so I don't think so.
All right. Well, we have it. Well, are you saying this is an athletic competition, the car race?
I'm saying that race car drivers are considered athletes.
I was thinking this was very reminiscent of the Laugh Olympics race.
I have blocked the Laugh Olympics from my memory.
You know what? It did feel like the Laugh Olympics.
Thank you.
You're right.
Scooby and Scrappy are in the car with Shaggy, and they are his pit crew. But most importantly, we meet Googie for the first time. We've already said she's Shaggy's girlfriend, and she's on the sidelines cheering. I forgot how cute she was.
Yeah.
I-
She's adorable.
And she
Forgot-
also isn't like stupid and does nothing, offers nothing to the plot. Like she actually helps out.
I forgot that she's like already his girlfriend. I thought we met her in the movie and they met and started dating. No, they just introduce her as Shaggy's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already said it, but bring her back for a film. Shaggy wins the race he's competing in through various funny antics that I didn't write down. The only one I wrote down is that at one point Shaggy's car literally splits in half and to pass another driver. And once he wins, we then cut to Dracula's castle in Transylvania, where we get the opening credits. No proper opening theme song.
The opening was boring.
In comparison to Boo Brothers and Ghoul School, yes, like not this is just traditional like credits. It was very boring, but I do have to say I love the gothic images that are shown of Dracula's castle.
Oh yeah, the artwork is always great.
Yeah.
These.
I love a good gothic book, love a good gothic setting.
I
Feel
will
very at
say
home here.
I will say this one looks a little rougher than Boo Brothers and Ghoul School, but I think it's because it's their first time using
Yeah.
digital
Yeah.
ink and paint.
That's fair. Once the credits are done, we zoom in on Dracula, who's at a table with various other monsters, including Frankenstein's monster, a skeleton, a swamp monster. All the classic creatures are there.
Did
Yeah,
you
the
just say
dragonfly.
Frankenstein?
Yeah, the dragonfly.
Oh yeah, but that was an important question, Hannah. Amanda, ask that question again.
Did you just say Frankenstein?
I do say Frankenstein. Do you have an
Pronounce his name
issue with
correctly.
that?
Yeah, pronounce it better.
Frankenstein.
You sound like a dingus.
That's a heavy accusation right there, calling someone a dingus.
Not the one who burped on air tonight.
I didn't say I wasn't a dingus.
You're just equally a dingus.
Yeah.
Now, I have a question for you guys. This is not the same Dracula from Ghoul School. This Dracula is green. So
And
is
ugly.
Dracula a breed of monster?
It's just a common name.
I think that like this is a different universe.
So this Shaggy never went to teach at the Ghoul School. Instead, he became a race car driver.
I think so because Shaggy says at one point in the movie when Bunch and Crunch or Brunch and Crunch, whatever the fuck their names are, when they're outside the house for the first night to try and turn him into a werewolf, and Scooby's like, "Oh, there's a monster." Shaggy says monsters aren't real. But if this was in the same universe as Ghoul School, he would know monsters are clearly real. He just taught them.
Maybe
Okay.
they what like X-Men his brain whenever he quit.
They had the Men in Black device.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. X-Men. I'm losing it.
I'm sure Charles Xavier could make people forget stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, like I said, Dracula is leading a meeting of monsters. He's telling everyone that the werewolf has retired and will not be taking part in the upcoming Monster Road rally. Wolfie retired to Florida.
Well, bad place. Bad place right now.
Bad place, just like, generally, socially, Also, bad place to retire if you're the Wolfman.
Yeah.
It's humid down there, buddy.
He's gonna get shot.
Well,
He is
that
gonna
too.
get
He
shot.
is going to get shot, but it's also very humid. He's going to be uncomfortable. Did he retire from, like, race car driving or being
He
a monster?
retired from everything, I guess. Because he moved. He's like, I don't want to be here in Transylvania.
Can a monster retire from being a monster?
Of course.
All right, thanks for the
I
answer.
think his occupation is werewolf / race car driver.
And now his occupation is unemployed.
Retiree.
Yeah, Frankie, how dare you?
All right. I apologize. I'd like to issue this formal apology to the Wolfman.
Now, the Monster Road Rally isn't just a race. It determines who the monster of the year is.
That doesn't make sense.
Well, all the monsters in Dracula's realm have to compete in it. But now they can't have the Monster Road Rally because there's no werewolf.
I think they could have it without a werewolf.
Yeah, I think it'd be just fine.
I mean, you're probably right, but then we wouldn't have a movie.
Yeah, I'm fine with that actually though, Hannah. If
Frankie,
my option is this movie or not this movie, I'm fine with not this movie.
I'm gonna hurt you.
Well, we have the unpopular opinion because everyone in the room is upset, especially Dracula, because he shelled out big money for the prizes of this year's race. We then meet the one and only Vanapyra, my girl. I love her. I want to be her. She is the best part of this film.
Please don't be her, Hannah.
No, I want to be her.
She's not the brightest bulb.
Yeah, and
Hannah's officially the dumb one.
I never said I was smart. I sometimes just say smart sounding things.
It's fine. I'm the smart one now.
Dracula is lamenting how the race can't take place because there's no werewolf when his servant comes in with the Grimness Book of Records, which has step-by-step instructions for creating a new werewolf. All the monsters are shook, and according to the book, every 500 years there are 3 consecutive nights when the moon is full and a person can be turned into a werewolf. And lucky for Dracula, because those 3 nights are just about to occur. And the book is so helpful that it shows who can be turned into a werewolf. And wouldn't you know, it's Shaggy.
Whoa, 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 Hannah. You're being a little disrespectful here.
That's Norval Shaggy Rogers.
No, incorrect. It's Shaggy, all
Oh,
right?
you're right, Shaggy. What
Yeah,
kind of
that's
name is
his name.
Shaggy?
We gotta call him by his correct name. Imagine if they just called him Shaggy from now on.
I think he would punch someone.
I would punch someone. I'd punch the writers.
So it's decided. Dracula is going to send the Hunch Bunch to turn Shaggy into a werewolf.
Not the Hunch Punch.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ, I fucking
these-
hate the Hunch Bunch.
These guys are hyped up. I was like, oh, these fucking killers are gonna come out. We get these 2 fucking dorks.
One is a major asshole who has a British accent and wears a monocle, and the other is just someone who has special needs and the film is trying to make into a big joke.
Yeah, there's a moment, especially when we get to the supermarket store, where a woman says something about kids in costumes.
Mm-hmm.
These people that just have some deformities. What are you talking about costumes?
Okay, they're
Leave
called
them
the
alone.
I forgot. They're called the Hunch Bunch because they're hunchbacks.
Yeah.
Mhm. These are the worst characters ever created.
Yeah, they're just making fun of people with disabilities.
It's very why are they here?
The worst
I
part of the
completely
film.
forgot about them.
I did too. When I was like remembering the movie, I remembered the race scene and like Shaggy as a werewolf. Didn't remember the Hunch Bunch.
No, I didn't either.
I wish I could forget them again.
They're in so much of this film.
They're in so much, yeah.
Also, I'm gonna call them Thing 1 and Thing 2 for the rest of the plot summary because I could not tell you which one is which.
Brunch is the one with the British accent because he's played by Rob Paulson. Crunch is the one with special needs.
I'm gonna call them Thing 1 and Thing 2.
I don't know. That feels. I don't know how I feel about this.
Just call them the Hunch Bunch. They don't do anything separately.
Yeah, just call him the Hunch Bunch.
They're together
Okay.
the entire time.
Okay. Well, Dracula sends them to go turn Shaggy into a werewolf. And they have 3 tries. The first night, they attempt to turn Shaggy at his house. He has a huge house, by the way.
Very nice house.
He's a professional race car driver.
Shut up.
And he's a winner.
True, who came in first. So Shaggy, Scrappy, and Scooby are watching a horror, a B film, and Scooby is scared, and he flips the popcorn bowl over, and Shaggy gets upset with him and tells him to go make more popcorn. And when Scooby walks by the window, he sees the Hunch Bunch. He freaks out again, and Shaggy writes him off. The Hunch Bunch then climb up onto the roof to cut a hole in it so the moonlight can hit Shaggy and turn him into a werewolf while he sleeps. I don't know how they know the layout of this house.
They just looked at it.
They
Like,
just
I
do.
think
They're
we didn't
architects
see all
on
the
the
trial and
side.
errors.
Good for them. Scooby overhears their plan, though, and saves Shaggy by dragging him out of bed. And Shaggy, once again, does not believe Scooby, as Scooby has no evidence of what just occurred because the Hunch Bunch cleaned up their mess.
I think that Scooby has earned the right for a little bit of trust from Shaggy.
Nah, we're never gonna trust a dog. Just like we're not gonna trust a woman to be president. I'm so sad.
On night 2,
Was that too
Shaggy,
soon?
Scooby, and Scrappy go to a supermarket. Shaggy and Scooby go inside because they need snacks, and of course they pile a whole cart full of frozen pizzas and ice cream and cookies and all that good stuff. Then one of the Hunch Bunch commandeers that shopping cart and throws Shaggy in it while the other scares Scooby by chasing him around the store. Outside, they've marked the position of where the moon will be, and as the one pushing the shopping cart pushes Shaggy into the moon's path, he ends up pushing Shaggy into a delivery truck that has parked in the transformation spot. So Shaggy is thrown into a bunch of watermelons. And poor Scooby gets blamed for the wild shopping cart ride, even though he was being chased around.
This is before grocery stores had security cameras too, so he couldn't be like, check the security camera. I wasn't lying.
And no one else saw this, apparently.
No, even though people have been entering and exiting during the course of this event.
Yeah, because we had that weird woman who was just making fun of people with disabilities.
So it's now night 3, and Dracula is fed up with his 2 servants. He's so fed up, he projected an image of himself to America, wherever we are, in order to yell at the Hunch Bunch for being bad at their jobs.
This is the elite team, by the way. This is the A team.
That's saying
Do you
something.
think this is the team that Ed Sheeran was writing about when he wrote A Team?
Yeah, definitely.
This is the most cursed image from the film. Dracula in bat form, but he has his human head.
Oh no, I kind of like it.
I'm gonna post it to Instagram because it's cursed.
I kind of like it. I'm not gonna lie. I've seen way worse.
So Dracula has told the Hunch Bunch they have to succeed tonight or they're basically gonna be killed.
He threatens that a lot, and they haven't been killed once.
No. And tonight's antics are going to take place at a drive-in. Shaggy, Scooby, and Scrappy are leaving the house in his race car to go pick up Googie for date night. And at the drive-in,
Real quick,
Scooby...
just pause, because this is a useless fact that I don't know when I'm ever going to get to use. Do you guys know what state has the most drive-ins?
Texas.
No, it's us.
California.
It's Pennsylvania.
That's absurd.
At the drive-in, Scooby once again sees the Hunch Bunch and freaks out. And Shaggy's just so fed up with him at this point, he sends both Scooby and Scrappy off to go buy snacks.
Of course he's upset with Scooby-Doo. Scooby's just freaking out every time he sees somebody with a disability. If I'm in a wheelchair, he'd probably get scared of me.
Well, maybe this dog needs some anxiety meds.
Yeah, maybe some puppy Prozac.
Googie also doesn't give a shit about the dogs because this entire time, she's trying so hard to get Shaggy to make out.
So
And
hard. And
this
he is,
man is oblivious, even though she is drawn like almost on top of him.
yeah, Frankie, I know you're the only guy in this thing, so I'm going to have to tell you this, but when a girl is basically throwing herself on top of you, do
I'm not
something.
that stupid.
She literally says, "The moon is so pretty. We should put the top down. It's so romantic."
And he just continues to sip on his stupid big gulp or whatever.
He's very thirsty.
That is like a jumbo big gulp.
He's a thirsty boy.
Amanda, I really do not have it in me tonight for this.
I can't help you. I'm sorry. And I never know when they're gonna sneak up on me. They're like little sneak attacks. So you're just gonna have to deal with it.
We have established that Shaggy's race car is also a convertible, and one of the Hunch Bunch does indeed put the top down at Googie's request.
He was fed up. He's like, girl, I feel you. I've been there before.
But Shaggy is still oblivious, even as the convertible top goes down, and he's finally turned into a werewolf. And because he's been drinking a giant, super jumbo big gulp, he gets the hiccups. And every time he has a hiccup, he either turns back into a human or into a werewolf. And Googie is super annoyed that he has hiccups, that she sends him to the snack bar.
That's you know what, that's something that I have to get on Googie's case a little bit. She gave him such a hard time for getting hiccups. That's never been a problem for me.
Like, oh, you have hiccups? Drink some water.
Yeah, she got pissed at him for getting hiccups. Like, how dare you?
I think she's pissed at him because he wouldn't make out with her.
Regardless, don't say that. Don't be like, oh, hiccups. You have the hiccups. It makes you sound like a crazy person.
The hiccups disgust her. Hiccups killed her father. All right.
Shut up.
Googie never sees him turn into a werewolf. But as he's walking to the snack bar, everyone else in the drive-in does, and they freak the fuck out. No one has ever seen a furry before in this town. The only person who does not give a shit about Shaggy's appearance is the fry cook at the snack bar. He turns around, sees a werewolf, and says, "Hey, what can I get you?"
He's not paid enough to care.
He is not. But everyone else
he
in
does
the
make a little bit
drive-in,
of a face, but I can't give him shit for that.
this man knows his place, and he's like, "I don't get paid enough. I'm not going to comment. It's your life, whatever." But the rest of the drive-in has freaked out so much that they've called the cops to report a werewolf.
I wouldn't have fucking come.
Well, the cop does come, and he takes everyone very seriously. He's like, "There's a werewolf. Can you show me where? Can you describe it?" The people who reported Shaggy to the cops, they do. They say he's right there at the snack bar, and a mob is formed and chases Shaggy.
You know, if I suddenly was under ran across a werewolf, my first thought wasn't, let me call the cops and then let's go make a mob about it. I'm pretty sure werewolves are known for tearing you limb from limb. I don't think that's the smartest ploy there, stupid people.
I would just leave.
Here's the thing. I'm a white woman, and I would be like, "I want to pet it. I want to pet the dog."
So Hannah is the stupid one now. Okay.
I just go home.
I
Yeah,
want to
I
pet
would
a
go home
wild
too.
wolf so badly. I think I could get a wolf to become docile.
You couldn't.
You
I just
I
want to.
could.
You would
just
be
wanna-
eaten.
Hannah, I
and
just
me
want
and
to point
Frankie
that out.
Why do you guys not believe in me?
You would be eaten, and we'd be at your funeral. We'd be saying words, and we told her not to do that. We told her not to do the thing. But just like her jumping out of the car in New York to go pet a pug.
Hey, we were stopped. We had traffic, and we were stopped in traffic, and I could have made it there in time. There was like 5 of them. I saw a pug the other day, guys. It was a wonderful day. Now, where were we in my notes? Ah, yes. A mob has formed. Scooby saves Shaggy by hiding him in a random car, and Scooby has to break the bad news to Shaggy that he's a werewolf.
Scooby then tries to sneak away from Shaggy. So much for man's best friend.
Well, you know what? Shaggy's been really mean to him lately.
Shaggy has been very mean.
Scooby's probably thinking Shaggy's gonna yell at me for this.
If anything, Scooby should be like, I told you so.
I told you monsters are real.
I
You
told
are
you
one.
there were two people climbing on the roof.
This would have been an appropriate moment for I told you so, I think.
Yes, and Scooby deserves that moment, but he doesn't get it. Instead, he helps Shaggy hide by putting a popcorn bag over his head.
Because that's going to work.
It doesn't, because the mob recognizes him before he can make it to his car, so they have to run into Shaggy's race car. And he floors it out of the drive-in, but now it looks like a werewolf has just kidnapped Googie and a puppy. And the mob begins a car chase.
That doesn't seem like it's legal. Because it's
So
not
now
just the
we've
police.
made a mob, and we are following the werewolf out. I don't think that just give up. Like, oh, the werewolf's gone. Okay, let's go home. That's what should have happened. But no, we get a car chase.
You just have to prove that Shaggy's a top-notch race car driver.
Is he a good race car driver, or does his car just do a lot of weird shit? Because it hops up a cliff.
That's what makes him a good race car driver. He knows when to deploy the hopping up the cliff feature.
I did not count how many weird things this car does.
It's a lot.
I should have counted.
It's a decent amount of weird things.
Yeah. No, Googie at the beginning of this car chase does indeed think she's been kidnapped by a monster. But it only takes until Shaggy opens his mouth and speaks that she realizes the werewolf is Shaggy.
Yeah, 'cause she's smart. She's like, oh, that's my boyfriend's voice. Oh,
She-
that's my boyfriend's shirt that he was wearing.
Why is my boyfriend a furry?
Does this make Googie a furry? She does kiss him.
I don't think she's a furry.
I don't know. Frankie's a furry.
I'm not a furry.
Yeah, he is. Give that picture as proof.
I have a picture of me with two furries. It doesn't mean I am a furry.
We have pictures as proof.
The car chase ends, and our heroes think they're safe. Except not really, because in a bat copter above them are the Hunch Bunch. And they use magic to put the main characters to sleep so they can be taken to Dracula's castle. And when they wake up, they're surrounded by monsters. But they think the gang thinks they're dreaming. So they start insulting the monsters and calling them ugly. The monsters then turn on each other and begin fist fighting. And sadly, for the heroes of our story, they learn they aren't in a nightmare. And then Dracula exposition dumps on Shaggy about why he's there. Shaggy refuses to race, and Dracula eventually relents and lets the main characters go. Oops, just kidding. Dracula traps them in a cage and forces Shaggy to race.
I just want to say, first of all, one of the monsters is just a skeleton in a hat, which is insane to me. They couldn't come up with
Mr.
anything better.
Bojangles!
He's gonna do a funky little tap dance for us.
Sure. Also, Shaggy is secretly the smartest member of the mystery gang because as soon as he gets there, within a minute, he has caused all the monsters to unravel and hurt each other.
It did not take much to get the monsters to fight each other.
Well, these guys are already trying to fight each other for Monster of the Year.
And that trophy is pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's a cool trophy. I want that trophy. Also, when they took him there, as they're flying in the air with him towards the castle, one of the Hunch Bunch says, "Oh, he's the reluctant werewolf." I'm the reluctant werewolf watching this fucking movie.
But you're not a werewolf.
That's true. You caught me. You caught me out, Amanda. Nice job.
Yeah,
Feel good about yourself.
I am, because I'm the smartest member of this podcast hosting table.
I'm gonna put a poll up asking who the smartest member of the podcast is.
Please don't. I don't want to hear about it. People pick on me a lot on the internet, I'm sure. I'm afraid to play Dead by Daylight online because I'm afraid I'm going to get picked on because of how bad I am.
That is true.
That's a fact.
Shaggy, Scrappy, Scooby, and Googie are taken to their guest room, and they quickly begin an escape attempt. They do many things. First, they try to go through the window by tying sheets together, but the window only leads down into a moat where Scooby is almost eaten by a gator.
He does go down that gator's throat.
He does, but he fights his way out.
Scooby got deep throat by a gator.
I want you to put those words back into your mouth.
I can't. I can't. They're out in the open for the rest of the world.
I don't have the mental fortitude for this tonight.
Let's see if I can make Hannah cry, Frankie.
Don't do that, please.
I am on the verge of a mental breakdown. Please do not. After that, Scrappy finds a trapdoor, which only leads them to an elevator that the Hunch Bunch operate, so they quickly get taken back to their room. And finally, a disembodied voice tells them of a hidden door in the fireplace. This disembodied voice turns out to be a ghost who scares them and chases them to another trapdoor, which leads them through a cake on the pre-race party table. Dracula had mentioned this party in an attempt to get Shaggy to stay and race. And now it's dance break time. We do the monster mash.
What do we think of the Werewolf Rock, which is the official name of the song?
Not the monster mash.
Honestly, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that's not good.
I thought this was the best part of the whole film.
I thought the movie theater scene was the best part of the whole film. The drive-in scene.
Frankie, you must be our tiebreaker.
I think the drive-in scene is better.
God
Yeah.
damn it, Frankie.
I gotta tell you, this scene, it was good, but the drive-in scene had me. I actually did laugh at one point during that scene.
During the dance break, Shaggy finds a secret door, which of course leads to a trap. The walls are closing in on our heroes. They'll be skewered by spikes unless Shaggy agrees to drive the werewolf car in the race. Shaggy only agrees to race when Dracula tells him he can leave and become a human again if he wins. But Dracula has his fangs crossed and he's lying. The next morning, Dracula personally shows the main characters the racetrack and allows them to take a trial run of the course. Dracula does send his minions to mess with them, but Shaggy is such a good driver that he's able to evade all the obstacles the Hunch Bunch throw their way. It's a good thing Dracula has changed all the controls around in the werewolf wagon, and he's going to force Shaggy to drive that car tomorrow instead of his own race car. Dracula has also changed the course at the last minute and did not tell Shaggy. And just in case, expert driver Shaggy is still too good at his job. Dracula has the Hunch Bunch keep Shaggy and the rest of his new gang up all night. Though I'm not sure if they failed or not, because
They
Hunch
definitely failed.
They kept getting thwarted, but in the morning, Shaggy does look like I do, and he's not happy to be up. He's literally being dragged to his car by Scrappy and Scooby.
I think that's just how he is in a normal. That's how I am.
Okay, that's how I am too.
It's so weird that it felt like Frankenstein was woken up more than Shaggy.
Yeah.
Yeah, every time they showed Shaggy, he's sleeping peacefully in the bed. Like, no one cares.
Maybe he was up doing some extracurricular activities.
Oh, him and Googie, yeah.
Yeah,
all right.
Not
got
with the
it.
dogs in the room.
I got what you were putting down. I'm picking up what you're putting down, Amanda.
Thank you.
Not with the dogs in the room. There's nowhere for the dogs to go.
He was changing his oil. That was better.
No, it wasn't. It was better the first time.
Damn it.
Now I'm putting back down what you put down. I'm
We're
abandoning
throwing it out the window.
I'm abandoning it on the sidewalk.
At the starting line, Dracula is announcing the race. And my girl Vanapyra is there to do some color commentary. She's naming every color she sees, and I love that for her. Back to our mini gang. I don't know what to call them. I can't call them the mystery gang.
The Googies.
The Googies. The Googie Gang.
Just like the Goonies, but the Googies.
Shaggy is still exhausted. Googie tells him that she and Scrappy will help him out any way they can by driving ahead in Shaggy's normal car to make sure Dracula hasn't trapped the course. Shaggy is still exhausted, though, and a little bit defeated by this whole situation until Googie kisses him and wakes him up better than a triple espresso.
That would never wake me up.
Yeah, I've been kissed. It doesn't wake me up. In fact, sometimes it makes me want to go back to sleep.
We then cut back to Dracula at the starting line. All the racers and their cars are being announced. Then Shaggy's car comes in. He's the last one. And his car is so messed up that he causes a crash and the race is postponed for a few hours while all the cars are fixed.
Yeah, this fucking sucks. Everyone else gets a cool car, and Shaggy gets the fucking broken down love bug.
Yeah,
Herbie's
but Herbie,
he gets Herbie's injured cousin.
Herbie's cousin is not injured. He's been purposefully fucked up.
He gets Herbie's beat up cousin. Everyone else gets
they took
super
him
cool
outside
vehicles.
with like a crowbar.
And then everyone else gets a really cool car themed around who they are.
It's
No
called the
werewolf.
wagon.
There's no werewolf motif on it anywhere.
That's it. It's just
has
called the
horns.
werewolf wagon. We don't need the motif.
It has cow horns.
Like he's a cattle rancher from Texas.
Yeah. Dracula is still taking no chances when it comes to Shaggy, so he sends the Hunch Bunch to fuck with Shaggy's car yet again. This time, they tie a huge chain around it, and they tie that chain to the platform Dracula and Vanapyra are standing on, so that when the race starts, Shaggy can't go anywhere, except of course he does, and the platform is demolished. I also want to note that Dracula let Vanapyra fire the starting pistol, and she shot him with it, which gets a big cheer from the peasants who were forced to watch this race.
Yeah, the peasants who are forced to watch this race are me watching this movie.
It's just the three of us.
Yay.
I was fine. Gave me some nostalgia. I've seen worse.
So very early on in this race, Shaggy has enough of this car. He's like, something is wrong with this. So he tells Scooby, drive the car, and I'm going to get under the hood and fix everything.
That doesn't sound legal.
That's how pit crews normally work. Yeah, they just get under the hood of the car
while it's running.
Driving. Yeah.
And Shaggy's a great mechanic because he gets the car fixed in under a minute.
Yeah,
and
but
he zips
he's
up
letting
to
a
first
dog
place.
drive a car. We're just gonna bypass that one?
Scooby is more werewolf than Shaggy is.
If they really wanted a monster, though, they should have turned Scrappy.
They do, eventually.
Actually, the live action is the sequel to this. They turned Scrappy into a monster. We're pretty close to the live action, folks. Get excited.
Don't get too excited, because what we have coming up next is going to deflate everyone. So everyone calm down a little bit.
Yeah. But we're close to the good era.
What's next? What is next?
I'll tell you at the end when we're done with this.
No, I don't want to know. I want to know now.
I'll tell you at the end.
As I said, Shaggy is now in first place. Dracula, he ain't happy. So he threatens the Hunch Bunch yet again to stop Shaggy. And these two throw tacks onto the road, which ends up taking out the whole race except for Shaggy, because Googie thankfully sees the tacks and tells her man to take a detour. But he then ends up going off a cliff. It's okay, because Googie and Scrappy use Shaggy's car's giant magnet to pull Shaggy and Scooby up. I'm not going to tell you every single thing that happens next, because at this point, the movie repeats the following. Shaggy takes first place. The Hunch Bunch come up with some wacky idea to stop Shaggy from winning, but Googie and Scrappy thwart the issue, and Shaggy returns to first place. This goes on for like 40 freaking minutes.
It wouldn't fucking end. This was my personal hell. When the race was finally over, I let out an audible cheer. I wanted it to be known.
Okay, duly noted. I will share the best line in the film. Of course, it comes from our girl Vanapyra. All the monster cars have crashed into the commentary platform stand, and it once again breaks. Vanapyra emerges from the rebel and says, "This is terrible. This is awful. Look, Dracky, I broke a nail."
That was good.
I
That was a
quote,
good line.
I quote this line to this day. It lives in my head rent free. After far too much filler nonsense of this car race, Dracula realizes that in order to take out Shaggy and Scooby, Googie and Scrappy need to be taken out first. So he has the Hunch Bunch turn their attentions to the two of them. They get back in their Batcopter and they grab. Oh my gosh, whose car did they grab? They grab Googie and Scrappy's. I don't know who I was about to say. But they grab Googie and Scrappy's car with a giant hook and they plan on dumping the car into Lava Pit Lake. Scooby and Shaggy rush to follow and save Googie and Scrappy, which they do. They end up chopping down a tree over the lava lake that Googie can drive across before their car falls into the lava. The Hunch Bunch continue to go after Googie and Scrappy, but of course their plan backfires on them. And thankfully for Shaggy, all the monsters are involved in another major pileup, so he once again takes the lead. Finally, Dracula has had enough, and he releases GK.
Not GK.
Yes, GK. Genghis Kong.
That was pretty good. I forgot about GK, and I did get a little bit of a chuckle.
I want to like GK. I want to appreciate the thought that went into that joke.
But
the appearance of GK is not the greatest.
I'm not talking about his appearance. I'm
No.
talking about the fact that they brought in a Kong.
and
They're
name
like,
him
"We need
Genghis
King
Kong.
Kong.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to name
I
him after...
appreciate that joke.
Yeah.
But then they make a very heavily stereotyped
Asian caricature.
Yeah.
But as an ape.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I appreciate the joke.
No, it's a good joke. It's a good joke.
It's
Drawing's
just very
not great.
racist.
Yeah. And GK steals Scooby. Does not give a shit about Shaggy or stopping Shaggy from winning the race. Just wants Scooby. Thankfully, Googie has a plan. It's called Operation Skateboard. Both her car and Shaggy's have a giant skateboard attached to them, and they drive the skateboards under GK's feet. And then they use GK as a barrel roller and take all the competitors out. Scooby is freed and Shaggy wins. Vanapyra is ecstatic because she can name Shaggy the winner. She thinks he's cute. She's very happy to name him the winner. But Dracula, of course, is pissed and he's not letting Shaggy go. He lies some more and says he doesn't know how to turn Shaggy back into a human. Then the true hero of this story, Vanapyra, announces the Grimness Book of Records has instructions on how to turn a werewolf back into a human, and Scooby steals the book from her. We then get a pathetic little keep away chase scene between Dracula, the Hunch Bunch, and the Googie gang. And the book ends up in Scrappy's hands. We get another car chase that then goes into an airplane chase when Dracula's car is crushed by a rock. Dracula literally just tries to kill Shaggy and the rest of the characters by shooting at them, but they manage to escape and end up on top of an airplane. And Dracula's plane is then hit by lightning and destroyed, and he falls into the ocean. The main characters end up back at Shaggy's house. Everyone's sitting around the dinner table getting ready to eat. And Googie changes Shaggy back into a human. The film finally ends with Dracula and the Hunch Bunch outside of Shaggy's house. And it sets up a sequel that never ever happens. And that's the end of The Reluctant Werewolf.
Woo-hoo! Yeah. Thank you for ending the pain. This movie would have been a lot better if it was like they cut out a lot of stuff and it had only been an hour long.
You mean the second half of the film?
God, like not all of the race had to be cut, but like it didn't have to be 40 minutes.
It was far too much. I was having such a good time up until the car chase or the car race.
It's not well, we gotta rank it now.
It is not the worst Scooby-Doo film.
It's not the
Yeah, it's
worst. But it's not better than Ghoul School.
No,
no.
I'm putting this at number 2 under Ghoul School.
That's what I thought too. Because it's unlike Ghoul School, I think it tells a complete story. Like it's not two stories put together.
Yes.
But those two stories put together are better than the one story they're trying to tell here because the race was too long. But it didn't cause me physical pain like Boo Brothers did.
This one didn't cause you physical pain?
It didn't cause me physical pain at like watching it like Boo Brothers did. It caused me some emotional turmoil. That's for sure.
Ah.
But
You were really hyping this up to say that it sucked.
it does. It's not great. I wouldn't watch it again on my own volition. Like I
You
wouldn't
don't want
go.
to come over to my house and watch it on DVD?
No, I don't.
You don't watch it on YouTube? The $11 that I spent on YouTube?
No, I don't. I don't. If we stop watching it like right before the race scene, maybe. But I'm not watching that race again. Jesus, that took forever. Unbearable. Unbearable race. I'm glad we all agree though. Number 2 movie.
If they ever make a sequel, they need to bring back Vanapyra.
They do make another racing movie. It's just it's a WWE movie. Did you not know that? They have the WWE
No,
sequel.
I knew. I know there's a WWE movie where instead of wrestling, they race.
Yeah, it's so bizarre.
Yeah.
I don't know why they would do that. That's like when they made that fucking penguin surfing movie sequel and it was also wrestler. Was it called Surfs Up?
I love Surfs Up. Don't even.
The
I
first
quote that I
no,
quote
no,
that
no,
movie
no.
regularly.
The first Surfs Up is fine. But they made a sequel where all the penguins, besides like the original characters from the first movie, all the new penguins are WWE wrestlers.
No, I've only watched the first
You
one.
are speaking words that I know. I know all those words separately.
There's also another
What?
one called no, never mind. No, it's just Reluctant Werewolf. I thought they had another racing one too, but it's just the WWE one.
They do a few racing episodes in like What's New Scooby-Doo
Ah,
in other series, I believe. But there's only one more racing Scooby-Doo film.
and we will eventually watch it. But that's not our next Scooby-Doo movie. Our next Scooby-Doo movie is guaranteed to disappoint one and all. That's right, folks. Our next Scooby-Doo movie is Scooby-Doo in Arabian Nights.
Put it at the bottom of the list right now.
We're gonna watch something that I'm sure is offensive.
Ugh.
It can barely be considered Scooby-Doo.
I'm gonna be reviewing that one, unfortunately, mainly because no one else would put their name down for it.
Yeah, we refused.
But I did reward myself because the month after I'm doing the Johnny Bravo episode of Scooby Doo, or the Scooby Doo episode of Johnny Bravo, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Very excited to do that. This is so this aired in 1988.
Reluctant
And
Werewolf.
Reluctant Werewolf, yes. At the same time, Pup Named Scooby Doo was happening. Pup Named Scooby Doo ended in 1991. So from 1991 until 1994, there was no Scooby Doo, no new Scooby Doo until Arabian Nights came out.
I'm surprised Arabian Nights didn't kill Scooby-Doo forever.
And then after Arabian Nights, there's no on its own new Scooby Doo until 1998 when Amanda will take us through Scooby Doo on Zombie Island.
I'm doing that one?
You are.
You claimed it
Almost
the first
immediately.
episode. Yeah.
You claimed it
Wow.
and Cyber Chase almost immediately.
Yeah, well, I love Cyber Chase.
Do
So
you
we
not want to cover Zombie Island now?
No, I do.
so
I just thought
next
Hannah claimed it first.
no.
No,
Hannah
you like I wanted to, and then you like came in and were like, I call Zombie Island.
and then Hannah got Witch's Ghost.
Ah, that's what.
So we will be doing Scooby-Doo and Arabian Nights next month. Oh, the joy. I'm so excited. It's going to be a miserable time, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not great.
I've never watched it before.
Yeah,
Consider
there's a
yourself
reason.
lucky.
I didn't even know it existed.
There's a reason why you didn't want to watch it.
I didn't know it existed. That's the main reason.
Yeah, there's a reason why nobody wants to know that it exists, and there's a reason why I don't think Scooby Doo and Hanna Barbera are out there like being like,
Advertising
yeah,
it?
this is the one to watch, guys.
Well, we will be watching it, so everyone buckle up. But that's next month. Next week, Hannah, it will be your episode. So what are we talking about?
That is my episode. Well, everyone knows I love Gothic literature. And you guys know that I love musical theater. So I thought, why not combine my two loves and talk about Rebecca the musical,
I'm
the
sorry,
but I already
messiest
know.
musical there never was.
I already know.
Rebecca?
You've never heard
Mhm.
about this, dude?
I don't know who Rebecca is.
You've
Oh,
never
man.
read the
The book?
Gothic romance?
No,
Rebecca?
no.
This is a
Okay.
very messy. I think I would say of all of the Broadway controversies, this is probably the biggest Broadway controversy to date.
This is, to me, not only the biggest, but one of the funniest.
Yeah, it is really it's great. Um, aren't they, Hannah? Just as a side note, aren't they? Isn't there talks that this is coming to America again?
I am not entirely sure. It just premiered over on London's West End in 2023. So I'm not sure if there are talks of it coming to Broadway for the first time in the future. I don't know if anyone really wants to put it on Broadway given what occurred back in the 2010s.
Yeah, it was not good.
Well, we will talk about Rebecca next week. So let's take care of business and end this episode right now. As of recording, we are on YouTube and Spotify. If you are listening to us on YouTube, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell for notification when each episode goes up on Wednesday and when I can find the time to edit them when bonus episodes go up. If you are listening to us on Spotify, remember to leave a review and a rating. That helps us out a lot. And answer the question of the episode. What do you think about the episode? That's what it is for every one of them until people start answering the question. No matter where you're listening to us, remember to share the show with people you think might like it, people you might think have an interest in the things we're talking about, like Scooby-Doo or Gothic literature and Broadway musicals and Disney movies and all weirdos and freaks and badass women from history. And share the show with them. Get us people to listen to the show. We really appreciate it when they do. If you would like to send us an email with ideas for episodes, any comments you have, any thoughts you have about what we've talked about, anytime you would like to answer a question we've asked in the episode, or if you would like to ask us a question, you can do so by sending us an email over at
Nothing to see here podcast at gmail.com. As always, here is spelled HEAR.
if you would like to see some amazing artwork done by Amanda, some great memes created by Hannah, and any images that may come from the individual episodes, you can do so and find all of that over on our Instagram page, which is
Nothing to see here pod. The cursed image of Dracula Bat will be up there.
tell us if it's cursed.
It is cursed.
And I think that is all the business to take care of. So join us next week when Hannah will tell, well, I guess me, because Amanda knows about it, about Rebecca. Goodbye, saying goodbye and good night. It's Frankie.
It's Hannah.
Uh, I'm gonna go see if I can turn my mom into a werewolf.
Has it been a full moon 3 nights in a row, or
I don't know. I really haven't
It
been
is
paying
a
attention
half
to this.
moon currently.
you gotta wait then?
I'll figure something out.
All right. Okay. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye.